It is the Flow Friday Sports Show, and it's time to talk some tennis again for the last time here on Flow FM in 2022. And joining me to do that is Egan Regnier, our correspondent from Southern Ports Tennis. Egan, good to be with you. How are you?
Going very well, Ellis. How are you going?
Doing okay, thanks, Egan. And as I mentioned before there, it is the last time we'll be checking in to discuss Southern Ports tennis for the year. So let's get right into it. Tell us, how did your rivals in Robe get on in their game against Lucendale? You would have been sitting around gunning for the Koalas to do you a solid, because you can't say you've had many of the opposition sides do you any favours against the Robe Rebels so far this year.
Well, the Koalas did a very good job. The Rebels actually had to forfeit their match on the weekend due to they had 10 of their full-time players out due to personal commitments, getting close to Christmas and that sort of thing. So it was a bit hard to get a side together. So they decided to forfeit their match. So the Koalas got the 24 sets, which doesn't help the Rebels and their percentage at all. So, good win by the Koalas.
The Koalas not breaking a sweat and very much doing you guys a favour. Now, a lot of people will be wanting to find out how Penola got on after their famous win last time out. They played Beachport on the weekend. It wasn't going to be any easier this time round to back up that effort from last weekend, knocking off the top side. How did they get on?
Beachport, Penola, they were thought maybe gone with a bit of momentum, and Beachport just brought them back to earth, I think. Beachport won that game 15-9. Beachport going really well at the moment. Actually, they've won a few games in a row and just keep chipping away. No real close games. Just looking at the scorecard, but just through the day they just kept getting a few more sets than what Penola again, and it broke out to be a bit too much of a lead, and Beachport got the job done pretty easy in the end.
Would you say that they are going into the sort of Christmas period looking like firm dark horses to maybe spring a real surprise in this competition, Egan?
I'll definitely say that. It's I know Beachport just depends what side they get on the day. I know some that, just looking at some of their teams they put on paper each week, very different to the team from the week before, but they've still got some really handy feelings by the looks, and they just keep getting the wins, and that's all you need to keep doing, and they're creeping up the ladder, and no one's probably really talking about them, but they're not an easy match to play against. So that could be a very good dark horse after Christmas.
Wombats v Cockatoos on the Lucendale grass. Bring us up to speed on how that one finished up.
The Wombats, they got back in the winners list after 2 straight losses. They actually had a fair few fill-ins in their side on the weekend, but they obviously were really good fill-ins, and great start. They won 5 mixed out of 6 to get a real good lead on to start the day, and then that pretty much was just the difference. For the rest of the day, the Cockatoos men fought back in their singles, but the Wombat ladies in their singles just did the same back to them. So, the Wombats ended up winning 15-9 as well, and it pretty much just started with the day with the mix getting such a big lead. So, Wombats back on the winners list.
Francis and Lucendale Eagles travelling to Kingston. This was always going to be a pretty close one on paper, I would have thought. Did it turn out that way?
No, not so much. Another 15-9 going to Francis's way. So, this would have been a really good game to go and watch some really good players in both sides, and both teams probably fighting for a top 3, top 4 sort of spot. So, Francis, they've playing some games in a row. They're coming good, and there was 5 really tight sets through the day. Just looking at the scorecard, and Francis won 3 of them. So, if Kingston pulled off them 3, could have been completely different. But Francis, they're going well, and they also won 8 singles out of 12 on the day, which obviously took a bit more control of the score. And France is going really well. Kingston been a bit unlucky last couple of weeks, I think, but they're still going to be a really good side, so I wouldn't write them off just yet.
Finally, for your mob, Egan, pretty tough trip going over to Narracourt, but I'm sure you would have fired up the troops. So just tell us how that game panned out.
Yeah, we went over to Narracourt. Narracourt, top side. We're struggling a little bit at the moment, and I definitely could see why Narracourt are top of the ladder at the moment. They're strong in both men and women, and they had a really good win over us 17-7. Same thing that keeps happening to us every week. We're not starting off well in our mixed doubles, and Narkle won 5 of them. So we're struggling a bit in that area, which is not helping us, just putting us in the back foot straight away. And then Narkle kept continuing their strong form, and they won 9 out of the 12 singles, which showed it was pretty much all over before we even played our doubles at the end of the day. But we held our heads high, and we won 3 of the 6 doubles to finish the day. But Narkle just a bit too strong, win 17-7. So they're a very good side as well.
Well, I'm sure you'll be looking to bounce back very soon. Now, I'm going to let you freestyle here a bit, Egan. You've got the previews and the fixtures for this weekend handy. Just tell us how you reckon all the teams are going to get on this weekend. Who are your tips? And give us a brief rundown of every fixture.
Yeah, so this is last round before Christmas, obviously. And just looking at the fixture, there's 3 really tight games with 3 matches. Pretty much the 2 teams are the same position on the ladder. So it's going to be a very, very tight round to pick. And I haven't been picking too well, so I don't know if you'd listen to me or not, but we got Kingston and Penola playing up, and that's Kingston's had a couple losses in a row, but I think they're going to be a bit too strong for Penola, and they'll get the win. The Koalas are playing Beachport, which is going to be a very good game with Beachport in really good form, and the Koalas gone pretty good as well. So it's a real tough one. I think I'm just going to go Beachport just with their form at the moment. Francis Eagles versus the Wombats, which is another very good game to watch. Again, I'm going with Francis just on form. France is going to be a really good side, I think. So I reckon they'll just get over the Wombats. The Lucendale Cockatoos and Narracor playing as well. I think Narracor being top of the ladder and versus them on the weekend. I reckon they're just going to be a bit too strong for the Cockatoos. And the last one, the Robe Showdown in the Roosters and the Rebels. I will put my house on the Roosters to win that one very easily, I think.
Wouldn't have had it any other way. Egan Regnier, before we let you go, just paint a picture for us, given that this is the last time we'll catch up with you with Christmas. Very much now the front and centre of basically life in the regions and for us here at Flow. We've got the Christmas break coming up, so before we let you go, we won't catch up with you, of course, until January again. Just paint a picture for us as to what the timeline looks like for you or for the entire Robe Roosters side in terms of, will you have any casual hit-outs across the summer period? Do you have any word from the inside as to whether other sides are planning on having their own hit-outs just to keep match sharp? What does all that look like?
We've got I think about a month break from the last game until we start again in January. Pretty much everyone can just relax a bit, I think, and enjoy their Christmas and their New Year. And I know Robe's going to be very busy, so it's probably going to be very hard to try and get down to the tennis courts and get a bit of practice in. But obviously, the Australian Open's going to be on TV, and all the other tennis events going to be on TV over Jan. So people might get a little bit of an itch to get on the tennis court and have a hit before we start back up in our season. So that'd be good to hear. But I don't know what all the other teams are doing. I'm hoping they all enjoy their Christmas and that as well. But we'll have a good break and get back into it when we need to. So, but we'll be watching a fair bit of tennis on TV, I reckon.
I'm sure you'll be hoping they all eat very well, Egan. That's all right, though. You just blame that tourism drive and you guys can put the feet up too, and all will be well. Egan Regnier, I love your work. We'll catch up with you next year. Good luck this weekend, and thanks for all your work in the 2022 section of the season. Speak to you next year, Egan. Take it easy.
No worries. Thank you for having me.